What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Feel, don't think. Fear is my ally.
The Force will be with you.
We are encouraged to love.
Be mindful of your thoughts.
I will not betray the Republic.
Hey, Your Worship, I'm only trying to help.
Scruffy-looking nerf herder.
I'm not afraid.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
In keeping with the trusty adage, starve a cold, disgust a fever.
Pardon me. I have to go poke out my mind's eye.
The power of one. The power of two. The power of many. The power of one. The power of two. The power of many.
So, this is the RT audience score for this morning. And yesterday, a friend of the channel, who is connected everywhere, whose name is not Cameron, basically sent me a message on X saying the real score is 15%. But I want to talk about this because it's very important. Some people, who shall remain nameless as well, have said that the chant that you saw in this whole lesbian birth thing, which in of itself is a direct, it's a direct violation of everything that George created. But I think, as one of Kamran's subscribers on his Patreon, Stacey Ballard, said, that because it's such a weirdly edited pile of garbage, that Jon Favreau, whom we know was given the task of trying to make something of this thing, this PSYOP, it probably is better than it could have been. There's something demonic about it, honestly. There's something that if you are concerned about your soul, you're going to cringe and walk away from it, like I have. And the fact that, when you've got friends that work in the industry that say devil worship is prevalent, demonic stuff is prevalent in Hollywood, and mostly among the women. If you look at Lady Gaga, Madonna, Beyonce, and others, Jennifer Lopez, etc., there's something unhinged about them. I'm going to, and others, okay? There's something not right. And when you talk to people, the exorcists out there, Father Zeta and others, they will say Satan attacks women more than men. And the reason why is because he hates us. Okay, we are the font of all creation. Everything that God makes when he makes a human being goes through us. All right, and any time that these demons can corrupt a woman, they will. Look at Lady Gaga. grew up a lovely Catholic girl, and now she's a vegan weirdo, malnourished psychopath who cannot even accept her own name, which is my name, Stephanie. It's a direct assault on the Catholic Church. I mean, and you know, I've heard from industry insiders that sometimes these people will actually throw a curse on their production so they get more people involved who watch it. And I think it's interesting now, seeing the lack of enthusiasm and outright hostility towards it, that I think people are seeing through it. And it's not the shoddy editing. It's not the shitty storytelling or acting. There's something wrong with this production. And I think the mass of humanity that is the Star Wars fandom sees that, okay, and has turned its back on it. Okay, there's nothing beautiful about it. Like if you go to the OT where you had romance in the correct way, the classic way, the natural, normal way, Han and Leia, and the prequels, Padme and Anakin. Okay, there's something beautiful and noble about these things. There's nothing beautiful or noble about what Hedlund created and what she wrote and what she put on the screen. Okay, there's nothing redeeming. There's no redeeming qualities. It's just demonic, evil garbage created by, I think a woman, if she's not outright possessed, is under the influence of demonic forces. Because why else would she do something like this? And why does she hate her own sex so much? Because she does. All right? The height of bigotry is looking at your own kind and despising them. Okay?
I thought one just drew a pentagram on the floor and chanted, "I summon thee," 3 times.
Not one more crooked word. Your tongue could open a wine bottle.
An agent. It's not like she worships the devil.
Well, she doesn't have to. He worships her.
So, you know, when you read this 2020 quote by the demonic female, you'll see that there's something wrong with her. All right. It has been rumored, and she actually, I think, said this, she wanted to retcon everything George created and make the Force completely a female-centric entity. And it's like, no. Okay. And, you know, if John and Dave got in there and were able to erase enough to make it more benign than it was, good on them, because we don't need this. Look, first off, in this quote, and I've said this before, she attacks George Lucas, insults the Catholic Church, and then turns around and insults Lutherans by comparing Ruin Johnson to Martin Luther. Okay? Keep Christianity and the BS caused by certain factions in it out of Star Wars, period. You know, again, like I said, she wanted to retcon the Force and redo everything George did to make it femme-centric. And she thought she was going to get away with it. Okay, she honestly thought she was going to get away with it. Little did she realize that the Walt Disney Company is getting sick of this shit. Okay? And yesterday, Sparrow got a hold of Kamran and said that Jon Favreau is horrified by this and has told everybody that he can find at Lucasfilm, "I fucking told you so." And the people that are like horrified by this garbage are like, we don't want to have anything to do with it. And the few people at Lucasfilm who wanted it to work are wandering around going, I don't understand why people didn't like it. Really? Is that how disconnected from the audience you are that it shocks you that the fan base, the people out there that buy Disney Plus subscriptions so they can be entertained at night, are upset by this anti-Catholic, anti-Star Wars bigotry displayed by this C-word, demonically possessed wench who wants to make Star Wars over in her image rather than admit it doesn't belong to her. No matter what happens, no matter who writes the story and who owns the IP, Star Wars is always going to belong to George Lucas. Okay. And the fans demand consistency, which we got consistency with The Mandalorian seasons 1 through 3. With Ahsoka, and the people who didn't like it can go fuck themselves. With Kenobi, okay? The people who didn't like that can fuck themselves as too. But Andor isn't Star Wars. Andor is trash. Andor is woke, vile, filthy, fucking trash. Okay? I don't care who likes it. If you like it, that's fine, but I'm going to take a stand. Okay? None of it was Star Wars. Don't care. All right? It just wasn't. And I'm glad Keno Loy drowned. Okay? And then, of course, we've got the Trasholite. And when you hear about what they got back as far as filming goes and the weird manner with which it was put together and how horrified Jon Favreau was by it and how pissed off he is now, we never should have had this shoved down our throats. Now, is it a government entity that wanted it to happen in England? And then you have to go, why were they so involved with the TV show? But this is the problem. It's at 20%. They have to do something about it. And I'm going to say this. There are many options on the table, including taking it off of Disney Plus. Okay? And I think that's a very logical move. Get it the fuck out of here. This is Steph signing out. I'll see you around the galaxy.